It's a trigger to flowering. So if you don't have sufficient calcium, you're not going to get good growth in your plants or good flowering. Also remember that calcium fights off disease. Ways to get it in: calcium nitrate, dolomitic lime, oyster shell, great sources of calcium. Iron is also critical to certain things. There's certain orchids that are growing, every layer is growing in iron ore. And it translates to being needed by those plants to flower. And iron is almost impossible for orchids to assimilate, so it's a good thing to have. Now, several orchids are found growing in the iron ore, just like this Phalaenopsis is. And so this species, Phalaenopsis, we always make sure that we get extra iron to it. And you can see it's a true epiphyte growing in the jungle. Always water well before you fertilize. Get the plant turgid, get the roots turgid, so it doesn't burn the root tips when you hit it with fertilizer. So, one of the things I learned in plant physiology was that all fertilizer is absorbed by the plant within the first 20 to 25 minutes. So if you know that, and you have a plant that's sensitive to salt buildup, like that Sophronitis coccinea back there, or the Masdevallia, then what you can do is you can take reverse osmosis or rainwater or good quality water and flush the fertilizer out of the plant, flushing that salt away from the root system. That way you keep a happy root system. I don't care what media you use. Use a media that you like. In Taiwan, they use sphagnum moss for the bales because they only water every 21 days. And when they're watering every 21 days, they do it by hand. And when they're watering, there's a little trigger on the water line that injects oxygenated water into the plant. Because what they understand is no plant has ever died from too much watering or overwatering, but a lack of oxygen in its roots. It's that lack of oxygen, not too much water, okay? So, media. If you're a heavy water, don't use a very small bark. Use a bigger bark. If you're an underwater, don't use big chunks of bark. Your plant's going to dehydrate and die. I adjust all of my media so that we water at the same time throughout the whole nursery, because labor is the biggest expense on a commercial nursery. And so if I can keep it to just one watering at one time, it really helps a lot. Vanadopsis piloloa, and this is Pulcherima by Neophonetia falcata, now Vanda falcata, and this is one that stays in bloom for 6 months in my nursery and has that Neophonetia fragrance. And it stays small. I could get 3 to 4 spikes in a 4-inch pot, so it doesn't take up a lot of room. One of my favorites is Vanadopsis bracon. This is one I picked up in Taiwan at about 2012 at one of the shows there. This blooms 3 times a year. The flowers only last about probably 2 months, but it blooms 3 times a year. Then if you cross Pulcherima with Miniata instead, you come up with Pulcherima. And you can tell here that they used the splash petal form of Pulcherima, but it didn't get the fragrance. But it's pretty. And then this is Japonica, which used to be Severia japonica, now Phalaenopsis japonica, by Stylus gigantea. And this has this beautiful perfume fragrance and long inflorescences. This plant in the Taiwan show had 3 inflorescences on an 8-inch plant in a 5-inch pot. And he wouldn't sell it to me. I probably, if I'd offered 10,000, he probably would. I don't spend that much. This is Cassis viola, Goldquestris, and Equestris hybrid again. That is that actual color. It is vibrant. And the lip is just stunning. Lightly fragrant, not heavily fragrant, but it's got that Reichenstylus fragrance. Tons of flowers, and they bloom sequentially, and the plant will stay in bloom. Likes to dry out, likes intermediate light, and does fine. This isn't my plant, it's one of my workers. Vandanopsis Mike Metzger, another Westers hybrid with Vanda. Then Kader's Perfume Angel. Kader's is a nursery in Taiwan who is doing all of these intergenerics. And if he can't get a fragrance out of it, it's a failure, so he won't mass produce it. So only coming out of his nursery comes the perfume names. And this is Timothy Christopher, which is a very small multifloral Phalaenopsis with Rhynchostylus gigantea. And the gigantea wins for the size of the flower and gets beautiful perfume. And he tells me that this plant, which he's cloning now and should be available in 2024, is one that flowers at least twice a year, but he says it's more like every 5 months it flowers. And there's a picture of the one in the show. Kader's Perfume Beauty, taking a complex purple Phalaenopsis onto the Rhynchostylus gigantea, and you get these dark glowing flowers. Once again, all of these with the Rhynchostylus benefit from drying between water. Whereas you think of Phalaenopsis going dryish, these with the Rhynchostylus want to go dry between water. So the Yukidan, which is Great Big White by Rhynchostylus gigantea, that put back on the Rhynchostylus gigantea, very, very fragrant. 7 days last, the flowers last, individual flowers last 3 months. Polka Blossom, Pink Jenny by Phalaenopsis, Lucia Lip. I've been buying Polka Blossom just to make these intergeneric hybrids because they maintain the fragrance, but you reduce the size of the plant and they'll bloom twice a year. Alopeoper by Rhynchostylus gigantea. Beautiful, beautiful flower. Once again, dry between water. Now, Polka Blossom Pink Jenny by Aphrodite. Pink Jenny loses all its color and the Aphrodite makes it more of an apricot. I didn't get the color really good because I was using a telephoto lens, and their stanchions, they keep you away from the flowers once we're done judging, because there's over 30,000 plants entered in this TIOS show. And there's, I think, 200,000 people that go through the show. And so they've got it so you can't get close to the flowers, but you can still appreciate it. Rhynchostylus needs snow by gigantea. So here you've got 3 different genera in the plant, and once again, maintain the fragrance, soft pink flowers. They open up this peachy apricot and then fade to a really lush pink. And that's why he's not going to clone it. He didn't like the fading, and I thought it was beautiful. But Loose Cute Angel is another small, white multifloral with yellow lip, and he crossed it to Vanda Vietnamica, which is a nice, compact, narrow growth, hoping to get multiple stems up on the cane. Didn't work. Not everything works. Serene. Phalaenopsis serene by Phalaenopsis japonica, very fragrant. I asked the guy, why did you make it with Cerise? Cerise took me 9 years to flower it when I bought a flask from Thailand. And I said, how long did it take you? Even in Taiwan, with good heat, more even light, good water, it took him 7 years to flower this plant. So it'll never be seen because it takes too long, and commercially, why would you make something like this when you can get a Phalaenopsis in 12 months with 11 leaves? You know, it doesn't make sense.
Wonderful plants for sale. Do take a look at what he brought in the back corner.
With the tag, color pad.
We also have books from the library if anybody would like to check one out. And
I think it's 40.
Do check out the raffle.
No, 40, sorry.
All right. Relax, talk to your friends. We'll be back in a few minutes.
628. Hey, all right.
You got your tickets in?
611.
Oh, look at that. We got a winner there.
Six oh eight.
603.
You know what? I've never even heard of it.
I'm gonna Google it. Let's find out.
Yeah. Looks interesting, but also looks gigantic.
Angelado?
609.
Oh, this looks cool. See that?
Oh?
655.
Wow. What is it called?
Eulofia Petersia.
Eulofia?
This is the African one.
Oh.
It looks weird, huh? It was the first thing I picked.
Vanilla orchid.
616.
Oh, you got a winner here. Hey, George. How are you doing today?
Give him money.
Right. What are you getting today?
I'm going to give that restaurant one. Really, my absolute favorite plant ever is cuculata. Oh, I love cuculata. Yeah. But I have a whole weirdness, and if this indeed comes from Florida, maybe it is a little more tolerant than the ones from Mexico. Yeah. Because, you know, everyone's just like,
That's why you come to a place. 640.
626.
657.
Oh, you got a nice Spanish moss. Spanish moss.
Yeah, I got that.
Did the George buy any tickets?
I don't think so.
He's just talking.
He's just talking. I don't. He usually does.